Are you tired of this happening to you?
Hey guys, welcome back. It's Thomas. And,
Shut up.
Well, with this product, this could happen to you.
hello, it's Thomas. I'm here to document the.
Shut up. No, I have my freedom of speech.
Before I used this product, I could not speak in public, but now I can speak in public amazingly.
Freedom of speech is the most important right because it gives you your right to express yourself and be who you are. Because the freedom of speech lets you wear whatever type of clothes you want, say whatever you want, and give public speeches. With freedom of speech has some limits though. In a protected environment, for example a school, you can't say certain things in that area because there are restrictions like on that area. But say you go to a public park, you can give a anti-government speech. We can speak out against our government thanks to the First Amendment. And we're allowed to wear whatever clothes we want, which means because with the freedom of speech, the freedom to express yourself. So like if we didn't have that right, I might not be able to wear this shirt that I'm wearing. So that's why it's the most important right. A quote that tells us a little bit about the First Amendment right to freedom of speech from aclu.org is, quote, "Today we assume that the First Amendment is a guarantee of freedom of speech and assembly. We protect even unpopular speech and demonstrations against such claims of government prerogative. Today we assume that the First Amendment's guarantees of freedom of speech and assembly will protect even unpopular speech and demonstrations against such claims of governmental prerogative."
Heebies jeebies.
Speechify has helped so many people, including myself, speak better in public. Because with the Speechify, if anybody tries to take your right away, they cannot, because the Speechify makes it so that they can't take your freedom of speech away. Because in situations where you are out in public and you are just giving this public speech, no one can stop you unless you're threatening someone's well-being. What this product does is when your right to the First Amendment freedom of speech is trying to be taken away by somebody, the Speechify sounds an alarm that says, "You are taking my rights away and you cannot do that." The way that the First Amendment right to the freedom of speech affects my daily life is letting me be my true authentic self, because without the right to be able to express my opinions and dress how I want and be the person I want to be, I would not be my true authentic self, because I would be censored by the government otherwise if we didn't have it, and then I wouldn't be able to be my true authentic self and be able to believe in the certain opinions and voice those opinions, which is how the freedom of speech affects my daily life. You can get the Speechify online at www.speechify.com for only $34.99, which is an insane price for this type of product. Most products in this range are costing around $500,000. And if you use the code word freedom of speech, then you will get 50% off your purchase. Some examples of the First Amendment right to freedom of speech in action is if you're giving a speech in a public park, no one is allowed to stop you from doing that because of your freedom of speech. An example of this right being denied unlawfully is that Tony had a bumper sticker on his car that had a slogan of a presidential candidate. A police officer pulls him over and demands him to take the sticker off because he didn't support that candidate. That is an example of freedom of speech being denied. The target for this product is any gender, but people should be over the age of 18, because with this product, it doesn't give you the full extent when you're in a protected environment like a school, because you're not allowed to say certain things there because it's a protected environment. Any occupation doesn't really matter. Hobbies don't matter. Whatever you do, this product is great. Some of the things that this freedom of speech does give you is not to speak, specifically the right not to salute the flag, of students to wear black armbands to school to protest a war, to to use certain offensive words and phrases to convey political messages, to contribute money to political campaigns, to advertise commercial products and professional services with some restrictions, to engage in symbolic speech, example, burning the flag in protest. Some things that the freedom of speech doesn't give you is to incite actions that would harm others. Example, shouting "fire" in a crowded theater, to make or distribute obscene materials, to burn draft cards as an anti-war protest, to permit students to print articles in a school newspaper over the objections of the school administration, of students to make an obscene speech at a school-sponsored event, of students to advocate illegal drug use at a school-sponsored event. That is from www.uscourts.gov. We have made a great deal of progress on both the free speech and equality fronts in the last century, but we still cannot be complacent about our First Amendment rights. Unpopular speech still draws censorious reactions, sometimes from private individuals, and sometimes from the state actors who are actually bound by the First Amendment. But with the speech fire, we'll be able to get rid of these censorious reactions to freedom of speech. The two websites I used for my research were www.aclu.org and www.uscourts.gov.